Dahlonega Art and Wine Festival 2026, my first art festival as a vendor. Over the past couple of months, many of you have followed my journey toward my very first art festival as a vendor. I've documented every step, every painting, every live stream fumble, every moment of doubt and excitement. Now that the Dahlonega Art and Wine Festival is behind me, I want to give a full, honest reflection on the experience and what it means for my path forward. But first, acknowledgments. This journey started with one person's suggestion and grew into a community effort. And as I wrote in my draft of this narrative, one started me on this journey, while so many have joined me along the way. That is absolutely true. My family, my dad, was the first to encourage me to try applying to the Artisphere Festival in Greenville, South Carolina. Neither of us realized how intense the application process would be, and when I finally read the fine print, I realized I wasn't ready, and honestly, I'm still not. But that attempt threw me into the world of art festivals and set everything in motion. My mom, my children, and my in-laws have supported me in every possible way, financially, emotionally, and with endless encouragement. My mom, she listened to me talk for hours. Every challenge, every small victory, she listened. My sons, they refused to let me quit when I felt defeated. And then there's my sister-in-law, Lisa, my one and only paid subscriber on Locals, a weekly live stream viewer, a creative collaborator, and this weekend, my volunteer helper. She even took a day off of work to be there. Her support moved me to tears. Her husband Jared and son Xander also stepped in to help me break down my booth. Their help made the entire experience not just possible, but successful. My online art community. To everyone who has watched me paint, encouraged me, prayed for me, and believed in my potential, you have been a sustaining daily force. Your support has mattered more than you know. And my husband. My husband has always believed in me from the day he met me. He was frustrated when I wouldn't step out into my artistic endeavors. But now that I have, he's inspired artwork. He's collaborated with me through his tabletop role-playing game world and taken care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. My gratitude for him and for all of you overflows, and I am blessed. Now, reflections on the festival. First, let me start off by outlining the challenge of premium art festivals. And so before I talk about Dahlonega specifically, I want to acknowledge the barriers that keep emerging artists, especially part-time ones, from participating in big-name festivals. The jury process often will force artists into narrow categories. The high booth fees are often $300 to $600 or even more. There's strict equipment rules and expensive professional tent requirements. And then, of course, makes it limited flexibility for artists who are still building their body of work. So these hurdles are real, and they're also discouraging. So why Dahlonega was my first choice? It was the right starting point for me because the booth fee was under $200. The jury process was more flexible. It's in my home state of Georgia. The organizers were accessible and responsive, and it offered a realistic entry point for an emerging artist like me. So let me tell you what was really good about my experience, because there were so many positives. Dahlonega has a beautiful downtown setting with mature shade trees. There was clear communication between the event organizers and the participating artists. They provided good mapping, and they had an army of helpful volunteers. They provided well-marked booth layouts. They gave flexible setup times. They had volunteers offering water and snacks several times each day. Thankfully, they also provided 24/7 police security. The warm weather cooperated. It was maybe a little too warm. And best of all were the wonderful conversations that I was able to have with festival goers and fellow vendors. There are some areas that were less positive and probably are great opportunities for improvement. And so here are a few things that were challenging. One vendor neighbor of mine didn't really honor the walkway spacing between tents, and it would cause crowds of people to press against my tent wall with people holding drinks. I worried about trip hazards and potential damage to my original artwork. I paid for power access to my tent, but never received instructions on how to use it, where to find it, how to plug it in. I meant to ask, but the overwhelm of the event made me forget. And the festival didn't negotiate hotel rates for vendors. The only affordable option I found was an essentially a repainted red roof inn. It had clean beds, thankfully, and a big fridge, but a wobbly toilet, questionable tub, and a lobby manager who was difficult to understand. I'll leave you to interpret that as you may. The best takeaways from all of this, the location was beautiful and well maintained. The people were kind, respectful, and genuinely interested. The festival struck a rare balance, accessible for emerging artists while still maintaining a high degree of quality. My goals going into this festival, and then how I did with them. Goal number 1, become an artist vendor and an art-centric festival. Ding! Achieved. Break even financially. Not so much. Stay true to my artistic style and values. Achieved. Have meaningful interactions with festival goers. Ding! Achieved again. Learn from experienced vendors. Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner. Adopt best practices for future events. That is still in progress. And evaluate the results and future challenges from this event. That is also still in progress. So where do I go from here? Well, I know that my immediate actions are going to entail the following. I'm going to do a complete full financial analysis. I'm going to submit applications to the Harris Arts Center in Calhoun, Georgia, and the Creative Arts Guild in Dalton, Georgia. These are a little closer to home for exhibitions in the near future. I'm going to keep painting and expanding my body of work. In addition, I'm going to explore new subjects suggested by festival attendees. I'm going to continue my collaborations with L.M. Stevenson and Jackadoo Productions, and I'm going to participate in local farmers markets to sell prints and display a few originals. So there are some questions I need to answer going forward. How many festivals within 2 hours of home are as accessible as Dahlonega? Can I afford a tent upgrade? Professional tents cost $2,000 to $5,000. Plus, can they be set up by little old me alone? Should I allow myself to be boxed into a niche medium just to meet jury requirements? How do I secure a festival helper when I can't afford one? What does my long-term path look like? So, as I wrote in my draft for this, soul searching about my path forward is needed, and that's exactly where I am now. So there you have it. I am grateful to have met so many people at the festival, had great conversations. Several have connected to me online, and I'm grateful for that connection. And I hope to foster a great relationship going forward. And I want to thank all the festival goers who did make a purchase at my booth, inquired about who I was as an artist, and had conversations with me. You are all wonderful, and I'm grateful to have met you. Please continue to reach out, follow, subscribe, comment, like, and share at will. as you deem my content fit. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for responding. And if you've got questions about my experience, please feel free to ask in the chat or in the comments or send me an email. My website is midlifeartist.com. My name is Stephanie Stevenson. You may know me as Watercolor Artiste in online circles, and you can meet me every Wednesday night on my live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Thanks again.